Hey everybody, it's DL926 here. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to do a bike review on a bike that I just picked up about maybe a month ago. With the COVID-19 issue going around that we've been having. I was looking for a way to kind of get out because I've had some extra time since I've been off of work and everything. And I was looking for a way to get some exercise in a different way besides running or jogging or anything like that. So I used to ride a bike a lot when I was a kid, so I decided to go out to the store and purchase a bicycle. And it was definitely not an easy item to come by. Basically, all the stores around my area, they've all been sold out. It seems like everybody has been purchasing bicycles. I mean, there's nothing else to do for everybody. Nobody can go to any stores. Nobody can really do anything else for the most part besides go out and do outdoor activities and stuff like that. So bikes are not the easiest product to come by on the shelves when you go into any kind of big box store like a Walmart or a Target or anything like that. But I looked around for about a week and I came across this one at Target. It was it's a Schwinn Connection. It's a 21 speed bike. I've seen people do reviews on the Connection on YouTube, but I've never seen anybody do a review on this bike. So this is the 700C version of this bike. So I figured I'd do a little review myself so I can put one on YouTube so other people can use it for a reference if they have any interest in buying this bike. So I'm going to start with the specs on it so you guys can get an idea of what it has on it and, basically what it's equipped with. It's got an 18-inch frame. The weight is about 34.8 pounds. The frame is aluminum. It has alloy rims. The pedals, the original pedals that came with the bike were resin. The wheel height, like I said, 700C, 28-inch, wheels. It's got smooth tires on it. The tire width is about 1.5 inches. The weight limit that the bike holds is 250 pounds. Now I'm 180 pounds. I'm about 5'10". I'm in between like 5'10 and 5'11". So this bike fits me extremely well. So if you're in between that height range and in that weight, you would do really well on this bike. It's got a Shimano rear derailleur on it. It's got Schwinn Revo 21 speed easy fire trigger shifters. It's got a front caliber brake. It's got rear linear pull brakes. It's got a Schwinn suspension fork. It's got a quick release front wheel, and then the rear wheel on it is a bolt-on. So that's kind of like the downfall of the bike to me is that bolt-on rear wheel. But for the most part, all I really need is to be able to take the front tire off, and I'm good with everything else. But ever since I've got the bike, I've put about 50 miles on it in maybe about a month. So every time I take it out, I try to do at least 10 miles on it each time I take the bike out, and it's held up extremely well. It's a great bike. Like I said, if you're 5'10 to 5'11", 180 pounds like I am, this is a great bike for you, and it's not an expensive bike. I only paid $200 for this bike, and it seems like it is very well put together. I have had no issues with it at all. The person at the store that put the bike together obviously knew what they were doing because, like I said, it's been flawless for the most part. Besides, there's been a bit of a shifting issue with it, but I think it's just the front derailleur is kind of acting up, and I just need to adjust it a little bit. But I only keep the bike on the second crank anyway, so I really don't shift that many gears. So down the road, I'm going to turn this bike into a 1-speed and completely. I'm going to lose some of that weight off the bike and kind of drop it down, try to get it to drop down to at least 30 pounds because like I said, it's 34.8 pounds, so it's kind of a heavy bike for the most part. But yeah, it's a really good bike. It's a great looking bike. I've really enjoyed it a lot over the past month that I've had it, and I've put some miles on it since I've had it. And it's a hybrid bike. You can take it on the road. You can take it on trails, no mountain bike trails or anything like that. I wouldn't try to push it that far, but just gravel trails and maybe like smaller jumps and stuff like that. Maybe you could probably take this bike off of, but anything with any kind of elevation to it, I wouldn't even try to attempt it with this bike because it's just not made to do those kind of things. I mean, for the most part, it's just made to be ran on like smooth trails and just, you know, asphalt for the most part, or concrete. But yeah, I'll show you the bike up close and some of the stuff that I've done to it. I've added some things to it. I put a new seat on the bike because the original seat, I took it out maybe 2 or 3 times, but the seat just wasn't working for me, so I had to put something else on it. My dad actually had an old Mongoose that he had sitting in his you know, garage for probably about 5 or 6 years, and he had a really good seat on that bike. So I actually took that seat off and put it on this bike. My dad's like 70 years old, and so he doesn't ride a bike anymore. He's not really able to do it anymore. So I just took his seat, and I mean, it matches the bike perfectly. So I mean, that worked out for me. And then, you know, I took the original pedals off and I replaced them with Fuker pedals. You know, the Chester race face knockoffs. I believe that's what they are. But I mean, they work great. I have no issues with those at all. I mean, I watched a couple reviews on those pedals and everybody said they were great. And once I got my pair, I agree with them. So, I mean, what else did I do to this thing? I'll put a light on the front of it. I'll take you over to the bike so you can get a closer look. Cell phone holder, you know, just typical stuff that people add onto a bike. It's a Bell light. That thing works really well. I've taken that out one time at night, and it definitely illuminated everything pretty well for me to be able to see. There's the shifters and everything. These grips on this bike, I really like these a lot because you're able to kind of like rest when you're riding. You can kind of rest your palm right here, and it gives you a nice little surface for you to actually put your palm right there and kind of it's just a different way to hold your handlebars, and it's kind of convenient. The only thing I really don't like about the bike is the stem. That's it. I would like to put a different stem on there. Am I going to be able to? I'm not sure. I think I can, but who knows? So I'll have to see down the road if I can do that or not. But there's the front brake. There's the rims. Rims have held up pretty well. I mean, the brakes work well. I mean, they'll squeak here and there. But I mean, for the most part, they're pretty smooth, and I haven't had any issues with them. They squeak very rarely, but they will here and there. Here's the other side of the bike. Sorry about my wife's little mess she has over there. She's an esthetician, so she's got products kind of all over the place. Here's the water bottle holder that I put on it. Well, it's actually not a water bottle holder. It's a Java cup holder, and it's from Top Peak. But I don't use that thing for a water bottle at all. I've got a JBL Flip 5 that I put in there that sounds awesome on this bike. If you ever think about putting a speaker on your bike, a JBL Flip 5 or a Flip 4, I'm sure would probably do just as well as a Flip 5 does. But just make sure you got something that has some power for when you're going down hills or you're generating any kind of speed, and you know the wind is going past your head and you're able to hear the speaker. But the JBL Flip 5 that I have, it's got the volume. It works really well on this bike. I mean, you're able to hear it very clearly. That would be a Bluetooth speaker that I would highly recommend for if you're trying to put a speaker on your bike or anything like that. Here's the pedals, the Fuker pedals I was telling you about. You can see how well they spin. Spin really well. Here's the rear assembly and everything. Bolts on, like I said. Here's the rims. Here's the seat that I got off my dad's bike. Yeah, if you can find one of these off of Amazon or anything like that, I would highly recommend these seats because they are extremely comfortable. You know, they've got the absorption shocks underneath. We got the reflector in the back. It's another Bell product. That's your strobe. That thing works really well. I don't really use it during the day. I know a lot of people use their stuff like that during the day, but I'm not going to wear down my battery life on that stuff. Well, should I show you? Yeah, it's got the quick release seat. Yes, basically standard on all bikes now for the most part. But yeah, that's pretty much it for it. But yeah, back to the JBL. If you're thinking about putting a speaker on your bike, get one of these also, because it'll actually protect your speaker. You know, keep it from getting dirty, any kind of dirt or anything that gets down in the cracks and crevices of your speaker. You know, this will protect it while it's on the bike. So look for one of these on Amazon. They're probably about, you know, anywhere between like 10 or 15 bucks, but they work really well and they fit inside that water bottle holder really well from Top Peak. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the bike itself. I just wanted to show it to you guys. And you know, if you were in the market for a bike and you were looking for something to do during, you know, all these COVID-19 regulations, this is an excellent bike to choose, especially for the price. Like I said, I've ridden it about 50 miles and I have had absolutely no issues with it. It's been a great, smooth ride, and you know, it's made me enjoy biking again, and it's definitely gotten me back into the sport. It reminds me of being a kid. You know, it's been a while since I've been on a bike, but as soon as I got on this bike, it reminded me of exactly what I enjoyed about, you know, riding a bike when I was a kid. So it brought back a lot of good memories. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review. Like I said, this is a Schwinn Connection 700C. You can find these at your local Target for 200 bucks right now. It's an excellent bike for the price. I would highly recommend it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys take it easy. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you in the next video that I do. All right, see you. Bye.